All right, folks, today's episode is about Amanda Keene. Now, this lovely, very lucky woman was on her way to her work, her job at the Honeydew Donuts, which is about 45 minutes away from where she lives now in Providence, Rhode Island. And Amanda's used to driving. For Honeydew Donuts, she's an overnight delivery driver, so it's nothing uncommon for her. Along the way, she likes to pop in her earbuds. So on the way to work, she has her earbuds in. She's listening to a true crime podcast. She should have been listening to the CJ Bronson Show, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So right now it's late Sunday evening, early Monday morning, and she's driving along and she's listening to the podcast, the true crime podcast, right? Smoking a cigarette, when all of a sudden she hears something. She's like, what is this noise? It's not from the podcast. What the hell is this? So Amanda says, quote, I hear moaning, like moaning noise. I pause my podcast and I roll down my window because I want to check outside. I roll down the window and I hear it again. I realize it's not coming from outside of my truck. It's coming from the inside. So she's looking around her truck and then she's like, wait a minute, what is that tucked on the floor of her back seat? Is that a naked man? So she goes on to say how the naked man is laying out on the ground. He's passed out. He has the back seats folded over him, right? And he's covering part of his body with with a rain jacket, believe it or not. So yeah, so the naked man is laying on the ground right there. The seats are folded over. He has a rain jacket covering part of his body is what she's explaining. Amanda says she didn't even realize he was there. So again, she had the podcast playing, right? So for 45 minutes, she went all the way to work, did not realize it. She's saying maybe he got into the car back at her house when she was unloading groceries. I know what you're thinking because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, yo, I've seen this before somewhere.
I'm doing it. I'm doing the naked man. Me too.
But no, apparently Jose was just really, really hot from being super intoxicated and high AF on marijuana. He was found with one short on a leg, a shirt somewhat on an arm. He's all kinds of jacked up. But guys, Amanda is so awesome. Listen to this. Quote, I wasn't initially scared. I was so mad. If he had made the noises or popped up while I was driving, I could have crashed. Like there's so many what ifs that played out. And Amanda luckily was not hurt. She says that Osorio did not threaten her or even speak to her. He just kept moaning and moaning as she's yelling at him. Like, what are you doing in my car, man? Finally, Amanda says, quote, I'm lucky that it wasn't more than just a naked guy in her back seat. And she's right. You got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to keep your head on a swivel. I talk about it all the time on the podcast. So, she almost had her own true life podcast story right there. That's kind of crazy. She's very lucky, very lucky. And, luckily the weapon that he was holding, I guess it wasn't lethal. Well, that's a bad joke. All right, guys, have a good day. Peace.